So I made this video for anyone who does healing work, especially those people who have their client in a trance state. When I started doing some of this work, I was really worried about the fact that maybe the person I'm working with is going to have to pee. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to wreck the process. It's going to destroy everything, and they're going to have a tough time getting back into this state, and it's going to throw everything off. Pretty logical concern. I don't think the first person I had actually got up and went to the bathroom. They answered the door, talked to Jehovah's Witnesses for 20 minutes, and in 30 seconds we were back where we left off. And I was like, oh, that was nothing. Thought the whole day was wasted. It turns out it was nothing. All right, so you're going to run into this where the person's going to have to pee. Congratulations. A lot of times this is how the healing looks, and this is part of the process. So this isn't a bad thing, and it actually works to your advantage. I do feel like a lot of clients feel this way coming in, though, because they're afraid they're going to, like, that it's going to wreck the process, or I don't know. I've gotten done with sessions and the person quick runs to the bathroom and they're like holding themselves because they had to pee so bad. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me? And they're like, I didn't want to wreck the session. Okay, so I think this is a pretty logical concern. And you can avoid this by explaining this to the client ahead of time. So one of the things I'll tell a person before we start is that if they do have to go to the bathroom, it is not a big deal. It's kind of like they woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, something they can relate to. And then we can just kind of pick up right where we left off, so it's not a big deal. I also reinforce that sometimes this is part of the healing process. This is their body's way of eliminating stuff, and their body's doing what it needs to do. I've had people get up and go to the bathroom 15 times in 2 hours, just because that was their body's way of eliminating stuff. And yes, it was a full time every time, and the person didn't drink anything the whole time we were together. Okay, so I asked about this, and they said, yeah, this is their body getting rid of the crap that it's hanging on to. And this is how it looks. I always say better out than in. So this is people's way of eliminating stuff. People can get hot, cold, light, heavy. It can feel like they're spinning, shaking, vibrating. Just about everybody cries. So reinforcing that this is part of the process and this is perfectly normal, and it's a sign that you struck something major. Your body knows what to do. On the practitioner end, this is a process called hypnotic fractionation, and it actually works to your advantage. So by bringing the person out, having them open their eyes and then go back in, they can actually enter a deeper state of trance than if you just left them there. Additionally, they're also not focusing on having to hold their bladder, so it allows them to go even deeper and allows them to be more relaxed. Okay. A caveat to this is that some people are afraid to lose control. It's not a big majority, but some people are afraid they're going to like pee in the bed, or they're going to lose like bodily control. So taking them through, letting them know that they are in control. If they have to go to the bathroom, they can just tell you. I explain this now because I actually had someone who showed up with a tarp to my house, and they said it was for their session. And they were afraid of this happening. They're afraid. They read something online, and they were afraid that they were going to poop and pee in the bed because they were going to lose bodily control because they're going to be that out of it. Okay, so I explain this to people. I don't assume anything. And by explaining this, you take that edge off, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, I got this. Okay, if I need to go to the bathroom, perfect. That may be part of the process. Awesome. So explaining that ahead of time really will save you on this one. Another thing that I just feel like I should mention, you are going to run into this too. So poop, pee, yeah, pretty normal. But you may also run into puke. So when you're moving through a lot of energy, it can be heavy and it can be intense on the body. So one thing that I like to do is I keep a bucket. So they're like, oh, you have a garbage can. They think it's for tissues, but I mean, it is, but it also isn't. So a bucket, this is a garbage can, and solid bottom. You don't want a bottom garbage with holes in it because it's going to go right through. And then one thing I like to do is I keep it empty. By keeping it empty, you don't have to filter through all the stuff that has puke in it. Way easier to clean up. So just a little part of it. Sometimes healing looks different. And the way that you can support someone sometimes is by holding their hair out of their puke. Or, or just supporting them. I like to be really encouraging and know that this is part of the process. be just reinforcing, be positive that it is part of the process. Oh, this is fantastic. You went through a lot. Congratulations on all this inner work you've been doing. Like this is huge. Because it is. And this is their body clearing out something nasty that it's been hanging on to. Okay, so just reinforce how good this is and how big of a process this is for them in their healing. All right, hope this is helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.